Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. And I did say in the last video I made that I would be making a video on Medal of Honor and why it needs to come back now that Battlefield seems to have, I don't want to say declined, but EA have delayed the game. They are shitting their pants in how bad the sales are going to be for Battlefield 5, and it only makes sense that they bring back their second sort of flagship FPS franchise. You'd say Battlefield's the #1 FPS franchise they have, then Medal of Honor's the second. If this was 15 years ago, I'd say Medal of Honor would outsell it every single time. But we're not back in Medal of Honor Frontline days or Medal of Honor Rising Sun days. The last Medal of Honor game was 5 years ago, and it was Medal of Honor Warfighter, and it didn't do too well. Graphically, it looked a bit shit, and gameplay-wise, it was just nothing new. And now is the time for EA and DICE to reinvigorate this franchise, bring it back to its fucking roots, and do it correctly. Now, of course, if you don't know the news around Battlefield 5, I'll let you know now. Battlefield 5 got delayed a month into November. It was originally scheduled to release in October, which is when all Battlefield games have released in the past, whether it's been a 2-year gap or 1-year gap. They always release in October. That's like a given. The reason I think they've delayed it, they've pissed off gamers. They've not promised the shit they were going to. A historically accurate World War II game. Patrick Söderlund basically told us all to fuck off. And Call of Duty pushed back their release date, which is usually November, to October. And they have put some heat on EA and DICE's hands with Call of Duty, Black Ops 4 and Battlefield 5 releasing just within 2 weeks of each other. And EA thinks that by releasing it in November, they're going to get the top sales in November. It's still not going to happen. The top sales in that month are going to be Red Dead Redemption 2 or Black Ops 4. Battlefield is, as much as I don't want to admit, I think it's going to die a slow death after the amount of bad PR they've had. You saw what bad PR did to Infinite Warfare. It was the lowest selling Call of Duty game of the past 10 years. And it's still outsold Battlefield 1. Now, before I get some comments like, people only bought it for fucking Call of Duty 4 Remastered. Yeah, we know, but it's still, on paper, outsold Battlefield 1, which was a game gamers were craving for. Everybody was craving for a World War II or World War I shooter. They got it, and this bullshit futuristic game that Activision released still sold more copies. That tells you the buying power that Call of Duty has. And Battlefield and EA and DICE, they need to up their ideas, because people, yeah, Battlefield has some hardcore fans, but nowhere near the amount of hardcore fans that Call of Duty has. The numbers are nowhere near the same, so they need to make this game special. They need to make Call of Duty fans want to migrate across, and that is what Medal of Honor did the best. In my head, Medal of Honor Rising Sun is the best FPS game I've ever played in my life. I grew up playing that game. It was so fun, and it showed us a side of the war which doesn't get shown much in World War II games. It's always about the Germans. It's never about the Japanese. It's never about the Pacific Theatre. The Pacific Theatre was a massive part of World War II, yet not many games ever highlight it. Everybody thinks World War II was just about Hitler. There was tons more evil shits in the war. You got Mussolini, you got leader of the Japs, you've got all these factions and all these countries going at each other. Yet in every single World War II game we seem to get now, it's just Americans, the British, and the Germans. Where the fuck are the Italians? Where are the Polish? Where are all the other damn countries? Where are they? It really does annoy me that they never want to seem to show the Pacific Theatre side of World War II. They never want to show the Japanese and the Americans. They had some brutal wars. Yes, Americans get shown, but it's always against the Germans. Yeah, Poland gets shown occasionally, but it's always on one-off mission. It's never the full game. We just always get Germans versus tons of other countries. The Russians, Germans, Russians, British, and Americans. It's very rare we get Japan, Italy. There was so many countries that partook in World War II. That's why it's called World War II. But no games developer or publisher seems to give a shit. Why? There's a massive gap in the market. To say they want to sell so many copies, there's a huge market, just, it's open. There's a gap in the market for a World War II Pacific Theatre game, and why is nobody taking this? This is where Medal of Honor should be slotting right in. I really hope behind the scenes at DICE they make another Medal of Honor game, because I will buy that, no questions asked. I will buy it, no questions asked, as long as you keep the fucking social justice warrior shit out of it. If we have a fucking Pacific Theatre World War II game and there's goddamn female fucking kamikaze soldiers running around, then that's it. I am out, boys. I'm officially done. That's it. I'll be done with World War II games. Never again. Now, sorry for not mentioning this. The gameplay seen on screen now is from Medal of Honor. Just called Medal of Honor. It was a soft reboot of the franchise. It launched in 2010. Not many people liked it. It was a good game. It was to compete with Call of Duty. Very tight, close-quartered combat. The campaign was pretty decent, but then 2 years later they launched Medal of Honor Warfighter, and that's where it all sunk. The game was dreadful. It was getting 4 and 5s out of 10. Again, I enjoyed the multiplayer, but it was nothing special. It was just something different to Call of Duty. If you were a hardcore Medal of Honor fan or a hardcore Battlefield fan, but you wanted more close quarters combat, you'd buy Medal of Honor Warfighter or the original Medal of Honor. But they just didn't live up to it, and it was DICE Los Angeles that produced it. It just wasn't very good, I'll be honest with you. And this is where Medal of Honor needs to come back. They need to come back and show Activision who is boss. EA have got so much bad press behind them at the minute, but if they've rebooted Medal of Honor, they'd have pleased millions of people instantly. Every single hardcore fan like myself, I love OG Battlefield games, I love OG Call of Duty games, but Medal of Honor was the first great FPS game, in my opinion. Set in World War II, just set in World War II, it was the best, and Call of Duty was spawned off of Medal of Honor. So yeah, before some COD cocksuckers come in the comment section, Medal of Honor was about before Call of Duty. And then lots of the developers from the original Medal of Honor left and started producing Call of Duty, which is why the first couple of Call of Duty games were absolutely fantastic, flawless games. Half of those people have left the studio now, half of them left to produce Titanfall, and the rest of them just fucking retired because they were sick of Activision's bullshit. Hopefully, DICE Los Angeles splits from EA. I don't know how that'd happen, I really don't, but that'd be fantastic. They leave and then produce the next Medal of Honor game. They do it in Vietnam, or they do it in the Pacific Theatre, set in World War II. That'd be my dream come true, lads. And I'm making this video to kind of lobby to fellow Medal of Honor fans to let's get this word out. I'm not a big YouTuber. Let's get this to bigger YouTubers. Let's all start a damn hashtag or something. I don't know. Let's let DICE know we want another Medal of Honor game. Shit, they might already be producing one behind the scenes. I do not know. I don't work at DICE. I don't know anybody who works at DICE. But not everybody's a Battlefield fan. I can play Battlefield for an hour or so before I get bored. Yes, large scale combat is amazing in short periods of time. But if you don't have a friend to play with and you're just running around like a headless chicken, because nobody seems to talk in game, it gets boring unless you're communicating with one of your friends and they're playing with you. In Medal of Honor, you could run around like a headless chicken. In multiplayer, it's small 6 vs 6, 8 vs 8. It's like Call of Duty. You don't have to communicate, you can jump in, have a blast, and this is what Battlefield's missing. Yes, you've got the small team deathmatch modes, you've got all these different small modes. They're just not as fun. It's just not as good. It's got all that. It's got all the destructible environments, which I love Battlefield for. I really do. But in Medal of Honor, there was no destructible environments, which made it again like Call of Duty. Yes, you could destroy doors. You can destroy little things like that. I mean, you can in Call of Duty, but you couldn't blow up walls. So you had to have strategy. You had to actually be good at the game. I know in Battlefield people say you've got to be skilled to play the game. You don't. You really don't. My 13-year-old cousin picked up the game. He got 15 kills in his first game and 5 deaths just by blowing up buildings and killing campers inside it. And I know you said, why camping in a building? It's just what people do. In Battlefield, there's tons of campers, just like in Call of Duty. Maybe they've just come across from Call of Duty and they're playing the same damn camping playstyle. But in Medal of Honor, you couldn't blow up the building if someone was camping in it. You had to find a strategic way to get them out of the damn building. Maybe you throw smoke in, rush them, and then spray them. This is the shit we're missing in Battlefield. I really want them to do a Medal of Honor game. Whether it's multiplayer only, single player only, I do not care. Just please, DICE, this is my call out to you. Make another Medal of Honor game. People are wanting it. And everybody who wants this, please let me know in the comment section below. And hit thumbs up on this video. Let me know you want a Medal of Honor. So I know it's not just me. I made a video on this like a year ago. And nobody seemed to listen. But people are wanting a Medal of Honor game. I can promise you that, DICE. And people on this video will make it known. If you don't want a Medal of Honor game, hit dislike. Anyway, lads, if you did enjoy the video, hit subscribe, turn on post notifications. All my social media links will be in the description below. And again, let's get the hashtag going. Hashtag new Medal of Honor. Let's get it going, lads.
These girls wanna tie a kid down and keep me around, but I would never change. I'm a dog, I'm a hound, but I tell them what they wanna hear. They like how it sounds till I'm gone with the wind and I'm lost, never found. I met her at my show, then we smashed right after. If we go 3 rounds, then she fall in love faster. Very next morning, I'm Casper in another city for a show somewhere.